Hey guys, it's Slurv. These are some cash game cornerstones, and I am Steve. Did you guys miss me? Because I missed you. I missed baseball. I missed doing these videos. I missed the expert chats that we're going to be having at, I don't know if it's 4:30 or 5 Eastern today, but check that out. Come on by the Slurv tailgate, slurv.com, and we'll have that info, as well as having our written articles out later today, including my daily dong finder, where I use my home run seeking model to find some of the best candidates for you. I haven't even looked actually, but I'm just guessing Danny Espinosa is going to be up there. Guy's got a crazy 309 ISO against left-handed pitching. But let's get on to the cash game plays for now. I'm really excited. It's been too long for me. I had to take a few days off for other work right before the All-Star break, and then I got back and I realized it was the All-Star break, and that was really disappointing. But starting us off here with catcher, as you probably know, I'm a fan of paying down at catcher and trying to get punt. But these guys don't really fall into punt category, but they are pretty cheap. We got some pricing to take advantage of in that these prices came out before all of the starting pitchers were finalized. So there's some things we can look at there. That may be some of the case of what's going on here, maybe not. We got Salvador Perez for only 3.5 on DK. He's 3.4 on FanDuel. It's a bit pricier. Goes up against Verlander, so not the bestest of matchups, but Verlander's better against lefties than he is against righties. So I like Perez in that spot. Now, I don't mind getting a little Sandy Leon in there, or Leon. I'm thinking it's Leon, though. Against Pineda, who's been really good, actually. I think he's got the highest swing strike rate by a good bit on the slate. I'd be really interested in him, except the Red Sox have some of the best plate discipline around, the lowest swing strike rate of any team in MLB right now. So I don't really want to bet on that too much. But Leon is only 3.3 on DK and 2.9 on FanDuel. Part of that Red Sox offense that, while it's cooled a little bit, is still pretty hot. And I think he has a good chance to pay off that salary against Pineda. There's expensive guys you could go for too, LaCroix and Posey and all that. But I'd rather spend up on my bats at other places or get better pitching. First base was pretty easy for me today, honestly. We got Miggy Cabrera for only 4,100 on DK and 3,700 on FanDuel. Kennedy, not the most ideal of matchups, but not the worst either. And we're talking about one of the best hitters in the game. So for that price, I'll definitely take it. If you'd rather go up against the worst pitcher, we got Joey Votto for a little bit more money. 4.6 on DK. He's only 3.8 on FanDuel. I might just take him there over Miggy, no questions asked. Against Matt Garza, who the DFS community loves to pick on. He hasn't really blown up horribly, but he's not a good pitcher, so I really don't have a problem with taking anybody against him. And yeah, I mean, those are the kind of guys you want in your first base slot for cash games. So one of those two will serve you well. This is more than I normally like to spend on second base, but we got some good top-end second base options, starting with Robinson Cano, who is 4.4 against Doug Fister on DK. He's only 3.5 on FanDuel. He's not even a top-end play there. That's a good price. Then there's also Kipnis against Irvin Santana, who you may or may not believe in his recent resurgence, but especially on FanDuel, where he's only 3.8, I like Kipnis. DK at 4.6 is kind of a little bit harder to justify, but I don't think the matchup is as bad as you might think from Santana's recent game logs. Lucas Harrell has been pretty good in limited action this season, but has been pretty good in unlimited action this season. Nolan Arenado, and he matches up pretty nicely here with Harrell. He's only 4.1 on DK. It's just a really cheap price for Arenado. 4.0 on FanDuel, much less attractive. On FanDuel, I'd be more inclined to go with a guy like Kyle Seager against Fister. He's only 3.2 on FanDuel. He's 4.9 on DK, so just that massive gap right there tells you it's kind of a pricing, well, at least point of contention, if not straight up error. But on DK, I definitely like the savings for Arenado, and on FanDuel, I like the savings for Seager. FanDuel's kind of killing me at shortstop today because there's a lot of underpriced options that I rather like. Guys like Didi Gregorius, so I'm a little bit iffy on because knuckleball and all that, but he's cheap there. And there's also Trey Turner to think about if he's batting first again. He's real cheap. Danny Espinosa is underpriced on FanDuel, but with a 30% strikeout rate, I don't love Espinosa in cash, especially if he's near the bottom of the lineup. So the guys that I actually really do like in cash, now that I've spent 30 seconds talking about that, I like most of those other guys too. It's just not as much as these guys, not as safe feeling as these guys. Starting off with Brad Miller against Gallardo. 3.8 on DK and 2.9 on FanDuel. Just really cheap on FanDuel and reasonably priced on DK, especially when compared to other options. Like Asdrubal Cabrera against Hellickson. Love Hellickson, not today so much, but he's just not as good against lefties, and Asdrubal's a switch hitter who I imagine will hit from the left side of the plate. 4.0 on DK, I'd take Brad Miller there, no problem. 2.5 on FanDuel is just like, wow, that's cheap. Save some money there. I don't mind that option at all. We got good spots for some of my favorite options in the outfield, starting off with Adam Duvall and Jay Bruce. I mentioned them together because I really prefer Bruce in cash because Duvall just has a pretty insane strikeout rate. Not that Bruce's is, super low, but it's lower than I expected, honestly. And Duvall is 4.8 on DK. That's pretty hard to justify. Matt Garza is bad, but maybe not that bad. 3.0 on FanDuel though is like a giveaway for Duvall, the guy with his upside. Bruce, on the other hand, is 4.3 on DK, so significantly cheaper than Duvall there, and 3.6 on FanDuel, so significantly more expensive than him there. Go figure. Another guy I feel is really underpriced, this time on DK, is Carlos Gonzalez. I mentioned Harrell earlier, and when I was talking about Arenado. Gonzalez, even better, being a lefty. Atlanta, it's definitely not Coors Field, but we forget sometimes that these guys are just really good hitters. They're really good at baseball, these two in particular. Maybe not all of the Rockies, but those two in particular. 3.5 on DK is just a silly price for him. 4.0 on FanDuel. I'd consider other options like the Jay Bruce and Duvall above. I mentioned a couple of lefty Mariners in here, and there's another one I like named Seth Smith. Always near the top of the order. 4.2 on DK is a little bit pricey. 3.2 on FanDuel is not, though. I love him there on FanDuel, and I don't mind him on DK, depending on what else you're doing. And then, I'm not really excited about him on DK at 3.0. DK, by the way, seems to have raised the minimum to 2.2. At least today, there's nobody cheaper than 2.2. But anyway, that's Brandon Nimmo. He's been doing quite well since he got called up to the majors. Most importantly, he's min salary, 2K on FanDuel. I mentioned lefties against Hellickson as being generally a good thing to target, especially if you're targeting Hellickson, especially. The 3.0 on DK, I don't hate it for sure. If he's near the top of the lineup, I might even love it. But if he's down at the bottom, I'm much more excited about him on FanDuel at that minimum price. That's it for my cash game Cornerstones for today. It's Friday, July 15th. And man, am I excited to have Major League back and to be talking baseball again with you guys. So make sure you come on out to the expert chat this afternoon. We'll have the exact time posted up in the Slurv chat room and the tailgate. So come on by slurv.com to check it out. And we'll have all of our written content, including my home run finding Daily Dong Finder article. Thanks for listening, guys. Good to see you again. Good luck tonight.